All right, guys, today I'm excited to bring on Darlene Moore. Darlene has joined our organization here just about 30, 45 days ago. I'm not going to steal her thunder, but just last week, she went ahead and wrote $15,000 of business with no industry experience, coming in, being a product of the system, being coachable, and just really putting her all in. And so excited to have you on, Darlene. How you doing out there?
Good. Thanks, Julius. That last bit totally spoke to me because I've dealt with that a little bit with issue paying and things like that. So thanks.
You got it. Anything I can do to share. So let's get this started. Let's tell everybody a little bit about where you come from, kind of what your background is prior to FFL, how you connected with us and how you got started, and then we'll kind of jump into it from there.
Sure. Sounds good. So I live right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, and I formerly was restaurant industry. So my husband and I owned a restaurant, which closed during the pandemic, and it kind of forced me to pivot and look for something new. And as I was looking, I came across an ad for FFL, and Clay had reached out to me. And that really spoke to me because I was still in the restaurant industry and bar managing, and he was a former bartender. So it felt like, if he could do it, then I could do it. So I really kind of jumped in and took my time a little bit at first, just trying to make sure that this was real and, it was a good opportunity for me. But as soon as I did start, I went full force. So.
Okay. So what, were you a little bit like skeptical, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, because the restaurant industry is just so, the profit margin is so low. So we had always struggled, we made a lot of money, but it all went back out the door. So to actually put in that kind of work, but actually see some results from it was really exciting to me. So.
Got it. And so have you noticed that this is real now and this is the,
yes.
Not meant to be true?
Yes, very much so. So.
Awesome. All right, cool. So, so how long have you been with us now?
I started the day before my birthday. So, February 12th. Yep.
Okay. So February 12th.
I went to convention and then, came back and started, I think like a week later.
Okay. So we're talking mid-February you started. So you're about 30 or so days in. When did you decide to go full time?
Well, the restaurant that my husband and I were working at closed. I was initially gonna do it part-time, but it had closed right around the time of convention. So it only took me about a week to go full-time. So maybe about the 20th or 21st of February.
Awesome. Okay. So relatively quickly you made a decision, you're all in. And how's that been your first, few weeks being full-time? What have you found through, and what are you, I guess, what are your thoughts about it just this early on?
I mean, it's been great. Like I'm constantly learning. I feel like I'm always on Slack, always asking Clay, always asking the team. I just want to learn as fast as possible. So I feel like it's been really good to me just because I've put in a lot of effort and a lot of time into everything. So I don't know if it would be the same if I wasn't putting in all my effort and energy. So
let's talk about that. What are you doing? What is all your effort? Are you listening to stuff? Are you watching like help the people on here, whether they're with us live or they're watching the replay. What did that look like for Darlene? What does all in look like? What is learning at the pace you're learning look like to help you be a top producer really quickly?
Sure. So I would say like every free moment I have, I'm really trying to watch a podcast. I'm listening to them anytime I'm driving in between appointments in the car, folding laundry, whatever it might be. Like I'm always dialed in listening. Just trying to get as much training in as I can. Trying to, flashcards, repeating all the different scripts and stuff like that. Just trying to memorize everything as quickly as I can is the biggest thing.
Okay. So you're just being a product of it, just putting your all in and just listening and watching and doing everything you can to learn. at all times. Okay.
All times. Yeah.
I mean, and that's key, right? I think I did, not I think I did the exact same thing, right? When I started and I started part-time, I struggled having that all-in mentality. But then once I did, everything changed for me, right? I started just, and I think that's what everyone starts to see here. Do you think it's easier to do this business part-time or full-time?
I think it'd be hard to do it part-time, honestly. I don't know. I just feel like you just have to hit the ground running with it for it to really work. Because otherwise you could have a bad day and not have a full set of appointments and really ride on that. So I feel like if you stack the deck with numbers and appointments and calls, it'll work for you.
Agreed. Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but I genuinely believe this business full-time is more simple or easier than part-time, just because, like you said, you have more opportunities, you have more appointments, you don't have things kind of taking you from, taking your distractions, right? Or taking your time away from things that can help you produce income, right? Because, 90% of what we do is income producing activities, right? And so if you're taking time away from that, that means you're doing something else that's not going to provide income.
Mhm.
All right, so let's get into this, because obviously you're brand new still, 30 days in, you're booking a ton of appointments. Let me ask you, what's helped you get better on the phones?
Well, honestly, I don't think I'm really great at the phones. I think I just dial a lot more. I'm getting there, but I think what's made a big difference in just the amount of premium that I wrote is I just started getting into mortgage, where I didn't touch it the first few weeks. I thought it was, I had to be a little bit more advanced before I got to that. So that's really kind of where that jump came in with having some higher premiums.
Okay, but outside of premiums, I mean, you're writing a ton of applications, which tells me
Mhm.
you're seeing a lot of families. Is that
I
true?
am. Yes.
Okay, so let's look at last week, right? Because last week was kind of a breakout week, right? So how many appointments did you have last week?
Probably about 30 to 35. I had some days that were pretty heavy with about 10 each day.
Okay.
I mean, if I get to if I get to the 15 for 2 days and it's early, I'll keep dialing just to try to fill in every little nook and cranny in my day.
Okay, so you had 30 to 35 appointments last week. What leads or what type of leads were you running?
Everything's been on the CRM so far. So all the cherry pick, a lot of the instant leads, and then some aged mortgage. Mhm.
Okay, so about how much did you spend in leads last week?
Probably about $800, somewhere around
Okay,
there.
so $800 last week, and you submitted 15K.
Yeah.
Okay, and approximately how much did you get in deposits from last week so far?
I'm not sure, but it was all Americo, so things did roll in pretty quickly.
Okay, probably safe to say if you submitted 15, 8 to 10 at least.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so that's a pretty good return, right?
Mhm, I would
800
say
bucks
so.
and you got 8 to 10,000 within a matter of a week right back to you, right? So that's
Yeah.
big money, right? That's big return on your investment. So let's talk a little bit about dials first, because I think one of the things that, I mean, we all hear this, that 80% of this business is done on the phones, right? Without 30 to 35 appointments, there's no way you would have written the 15,000 last week. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So let's go through what your phone script, what that sounds like for everybody on here. Maybe they can get a few nuggets out of it. And let's just let everybody hear what you're doing. That way we can duplicate that type of success. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
All
So
right.
what leads have you been dialing this morning?
Well, today it was mostly mortgage, and I did a little bit of instant internet life leads.
Okay. So since not everyone has mortgage, let's focus on instance. Let's book an
Mhm.
instant. Okay. So
Okay.
let's role play through it. I'll be the customer, obviously, and you do your thing.
All
So,
right. I still rely
hello.
heavily on my script, so I'm gonna
You're all
refer
good.
to
You're all good.
this.
All
Okay.
right. Ready?
Okay. Ready.
All right. Hello.
Hey, Julius.
Yeah.
Julius, it's Darlene over at the benefit office here in Wilson County. I was just getting back to you about the life insurance request that you had submitted. I just need to verify some information. It looks like you put your address as the 123 Success Lane and your date of birth is 2/13/1960. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect, Julius. Again, my name's Darlene. I'm just letting you know we did get your request. I'm actually just the field underwriter assigned to get this out to you and go through some quick eligibility. Like I said, it's all non-medical, so there's no blood, physical, or anything. But because of that, I just need to make sure you're you and you're not strapped to a hospital bed. Takes me about 10 minutes. Now, Julius, are you working, retired, or disabled?
I'm still working.
Okay, perfect. And single, married, widowed, or divorced?
Divorced.
Divorced. Okay. And as far as your schedule, what time are you normally getting home on a regular day?
About 5-ish.
Okay, perfect. So, Julius, I'm dispatched out tomorrow. I'm seeing about 15 other families. I don't have a 5 o'clock open, but I do have a 6 or a 7:15. Which works better for you?
6 works great.
Okay, perfect. And then the address, is that a house or an apartment?
House.
House, perfect. Any large dogs that'll come attack me or any gate posts I need to know about?
No, no, just a little dog that'll attack you, not a large one.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, and then you're good about keeping your appointments?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Grab a pen and piece of paper. I'm just going to give you a little bit of information. My
Okay.
name is Darlene Moore. My license number is 1973-6565. And I've got you down for 6:15 tomorrow. If you'll just repeat that back to me, I want to make sure you have it correct.
1973-6565.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect, perfect. Okay.
Gotcha.
And if you'll do me one favor and just give me a little window of time, about 30 minutes on either end, just because I am seeing a lot of other families, and I look forward to helping you then.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, and I have to apologize. My neighbors started cutting their grass in the middle of that, so I hope you didn't hear any of that.
No, we can't hear it. We can't hear
Okay,
it.
good.
No, that was great, Darlene. I mean, you book like a pro. The only thing that you asked me questions on were things that I had to say yes, or a closed-ended question. I'm working, retired, or disabled. I told you I'm working.
Mhm.
And then you asked some very direct questions about clearing my schedule. Or, what time you normally home? 5 o'clock. And then you gave 2 options, 6 or 7:15, or 6:15 or 7:15. I picked one, right? So you're only having the customer or myself say a few things and not really engage in conversation, right? Like, so that's really good. I can see why you're booking a lot of appointments, because you're very direct to the point, and you really don't allow the customer to really interject and kind of take you off track, right?
Yeah, I learned early on when I opened the floor to them that it usually doesn't go the right way.
So you've learned that, right? You've
Mhm.
learned that when you do it the other way. So tell us, what did you learn that you can share with the team? What did you do differently in the beginning that you don't do now that helps you book more appointments?
Well, I don't give up on people right away. Like, even if they say they're not interested, I've had some that have straight up hung up on me, and then I've door knocked them and booked them and got them coverage. But I think that I'll ask more questions just to try to keep them on the phone longer. And I also try to keep to the script and keep going through. Because for a while there in the very beginning, I would let them talk or give them a moment to talk, and it really just kind of threw everything off course.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, that's really what it is, right? It's sometimes, and if they try to take you off course and they say something, you either, you got to just get back to booking an appointment, don't have a conversation with them, or sometimes ask a question to interject, right? Or, one of the things that I say, if they're trying to like get you off the phone, is, hey, I'm just the local field underwriter, right? My job's just to get you this information. What you do with it is up to you. So I just need 10, 15 minutes, super quick. We'll go ahead and close your file. The next time I can get out there is 6 or 7. What's better for you? So keep things simple. So awesome. So let's talk about what you're doing in the home, right? Because obviously you're closing a bunch of business as well. So what have you found has been like the most crucial thing for you to close business in terms of the steps of the process?
Well, I definitely I listen to Paul McLean, the 8 steps, like every single car ride, every single appointment, just so I can really remember each little bit that he has in there and why he says what he says. So that's been a big thing before I go in, just like mindset and knowing that it's not about the sale, obviously, it's about what they need and how I can help them. So I really try to put them first, just in the conversation, taking a lot of notes, being as empathetic as I can. So I feel like that's helped. And then just, I mean, that the 8 steps has really helped me a lot, just trying to stay on course and, know exactly what I need to say and when to say it to move things along the way it's supposed to go.
Got it. And the 8 steps, that's the that's the 8 steps to like a successful appointment or final expense appointment, something like
Yeah, for
that.
final expense, because that's really what I started running in the beginning. So
Got it. And that strategy, that principle, that process, whether it's final expense or mortgage protection or life insurance, is really a lot of the same stuff, right? It's just you're filling a different need. So if you follow those same 8 steps, no matter what kind of appointment you have, you're still going to find success doing what you do. So, okay, so you follow the 8 steps. What are some things that maybe you struggled with in the home that you've changed?
Well, them saying no to me the first time, I think the first few appointments, I just took it as a no, and I packed and left, and I didn't really push or, try to get to the reason of why. So every time I've had a roadblock, I just go to YouTube or, Clay or whoever else, just trying to see like, okay, how did you get through this? And now I feel like, I mean, I'm still learning, but now when I hit a roadblock like that, when they want to think about it, rather than me go, okay, well, I'll talk to you next week or something like that, it'll be like, well, what are we thinking about here? And, trying to dig a little bit deeper and stay longer to try to move through it.
So just being more intentional, asking some more questions, not taking the first no as the final answer, right?
Right.
So if someone tells you, I need to think about it, what are you saying?
Well, at this point, really, the carrier needs to think about it because we don't even know if we're going to be able to get you approved. So, I'll kind of go that route.
Okay. So you take it, you don't give them the opportunity to use that.
Right.
Okay. What if, what if they say something like, well, I'm just not comfortable giving you information today. I don't want to make a final decision today.
Right. Well, with the final decision part, really, I kind of go back to the same thing about really there's no decision to be made right now. The carrier's going to decide for us. And then when they do, you have 30 days to really think about it then as to if you want to go up or down with the coverage. So right now we're just trying to see if you're approved.
Got it. So you're just going, we're just going the route of, hey, we don't even know if you can be approved at this point. If you are, then we have something to talk about.
Yeah. So if they're really not sure, then I'll bring up the free look thing, but I don't really go there until they keep saying the, not sure or think about it part.
Got it. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your numbers for last week, right? So everyone heard that you had 30 to 35 appointments. How many of those appointments did you actually sit with approximately? Or if you know the numbers, that's great too.
Honestly, I had one really bad day where I did sit quite a few, but it was just, I don't know what it was. I just had quite a few that did not go, did not go as I thought they would. But I probably sat about 15 to 20, something like that. I don't know. I didn't
of those 15 to 20, how many apps did you write?
I'd have to look, probably about 10, I want to say.
So you sat about 50% of your appointments, give or take. And then of those you closed, looks like, you had about 75% of those people you wrote an app for, right? So
something
if you
like
had 15 sits, you had 10 apps, give or take, right? And so, would you say that now that you've done that once, do you think that that's duplicatable?
Oh yeah. I would say so.
So what do you think the biggest influence in making sure you can write 10 to 15K per week is now that you've done it once?
One is having leads. Like that's one thing that I've never been shy about getting. I actually had a big stack, so I didn't buy as much as I maybe normally would. But always having a ton of leads because it's just more opportunities. That would be the biggest thing. And then the mortgage help too. So.
Okay. So really it's leads, right? You're a believer that leads work. Obviously you spent 800, you made 15K, right? Like that works, right? And so now that you've seen, now it's just a matter of doing more and more. And so the one thing I'll tell you, Darlene, is, I think you've probably seen this looking across the company, across the board, but the people that are writing the most business are just buying the most leads, right? So it's not rocket science, right? It's just a math equation, right? So it's, what are you putting in? What are you getting out? and just continue to rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's leave them with one last thing. So one last tip for someone watching, new like yourself, been here for 30, 60 days. What's one tip that you want to leave everybody with today, Darlene?
I would say really not to monitor each day, but just like the overall progress overall, like do it by week, do it by month, because I've definitely had days where I went out and had 0 for 0 and went out and had days where it was, 5 for 5. So just try to, I've heard it before, but not riding the highs and lows, but really just keep putting the effort in and then the results will follow.
I think that's so huge. And you saying that so early in the business is so key, because it is very easy to get emotional in this business, especially in the beginning, right? When you're trying to find that success, when you're desperate and hungry and you want to win, right? And I think a lot of people, they get so caught up in the day to day, like you mentioned, that they ride that low where it takes them out of the business sometimes, right? Like they're like, I can't take this pressure or this stress. And it's like, it's one day. It's
Mm-hmm.
one day, right? And so what, you didn't sell anything and you went 0 for 5 or 0 for 7. That next day, you literally can write 3 to 5 grand. And that's more than you're going to write in your month, doing your month at your job, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's such good advice, Darlene, is looking at this at a bigger scale, not just day by day, but are you making progress? Are you, and that could be in a few different areas, right? That could be booking appointments. That could be sitting customers. That could be submitting applications. That could be any one of these elements, because look, let's face it, this is a business. We're in business for ourselves, right? But the beautiful thing is we're not by ourselves. We get to learn from other people that are doing it. And so as long as you're progressing in your business, you have the ability to create and scale a big business, because once you stop, well, your business is shut down, right? And so, that's kind of what it is. So great advice, Darlene. A pleasure having you on. Keep up the great work. Keep helping families. If there's anything we can do, obviously reach out to us, let us know. But love seeing you at the top of the leaderboard. You think you're going to win the March Madness contest?
I'm trying. Top 3 at least. We'll try. We'll shoot for that. Yeah.
Well, you're in the top 3 right now, and you're not far from the top. So keep pushing. We have about 2 weeks or so left, a week and a half left. Guys, it's Monday. Obviously, you guys know it's dial day. So let's get back out there. Let's get back on the phones. Let's set more appointments, help more families. ffldialteam.com. And let's go out there and crush it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye
Thanks,
for now.
Julius.